demand resignation of GIADEC CEO, that is you. A part of the story quoting the union chairman. Speaking at a protest on Monday, February 9, the local union chairman, Samuel Tete Ajiman, urged the president to dismiss the CEO, stating that he is not fit to occupy a leadership position at GIADEC. He added that several attempts by the union to engage the CEO on the issue have yielded no results. Quote, he doesn't take any advice from anybody and nothing concerns him. What he says he wants to do, whether good or bad, is what he wants to do. We wrote him a letter on the 18th of December and he hasn't replied. So we don't know what he is up to. He also doesn't talk to anybody. That's the end of the quote.
Okay, so I'll try as much as possible to address every sentence in the quote.
Go ahead.
First, he has not given me any advice.
Okay.
He himself admitted that I only waved at him. So how can someone who says I only waved at him come and say I don't listen to advice?
Okay.
What advice did he try to give me that I did not listen to?
Okay.
Two, like he rightly said, I don't know him. He's not part of the management of VALCO. Management decisions will not involve him. So whatever conversations take place at the top, it is not my responsibility to go and brief him.
Okay.
It is his MD and his management's responsibility to brief him, not mine.
Okay.
So what is the basis of his attack on me?
Okay.
I really don't see it. And he talks about a letter, and I have to admit, unfortunately, we had some national service persons who were using the front desk. We just recruited because of our financial challenges. We try as much as possible to cut costs. That letter came to my notice just about 28th or so of January, and it has even been responded to. The legal people responded to it. So I'm sure he's yet to get his response. But even before we sent him the response, we had already put out there in the public domain what it is we are doing, because he had already gone public with some misleading information and mentioning names of people that I'm associated with, trying to create a certain narrative that we are taking lands, we are taking VALCO, we are selling and we're giving it to somebody. He tried to create that narrative. So we had to come out, put out there the information, let people understand this is what is happening. There's nothing untoward about it.
When you have opposition from the union, and now you are saying that you don't think it's the union, but is there someone occupying an office who is using that? But still, he occupies that chair, and to the extent that he's occupying that chair, people would hold anything he says as being representative of the union. The fact that you have a challenge with the union agreeing with this, your plan, it means that maybe you haven't done enough stakeholder consultation. Secondly, what's the role of the CEO or MD of VALCO in this? Are you adding them on this? Because it appears that VALCO management isn't entirely happy with this plan of yours too.
Omaro, anybody who tells you that VALCO management is not aware of anything that is going on, I wouldn't want to mince words. It's a complete liar. And I want to mince words at all. And this is why I say so. Being
aware is different from accepting.
I'm coming. But you see, like I indicated a point earlier, when it comes to shareholding, it's a government. You are, in fact, technically speaking, you are a worker of the state. Okay. The state drives policy. The state is the one that decides that this is what I want to do for the benefit of the general public.
You can't challenge.
You can't sit there looking at things from a parochial perspective and say that I don't agree. So let's ask him the relevant questions, or whoever is saying that the relevant. Is he happy with the present state of affairs of VALCO? Is he happy that 2-3 years ago, he as union leader leading his charge were demonstrating for unpaid salaries? Is he happy that they go and all they do after laboring every year, they run losses? Is he not considering the fact that if things are working in an optimal way, he is in a better position to negotiate proper conditions of service for himself and his staff? He's talking about job losses. If he wants to know, they had 2 reps. VALCO had 2 reps on the committee, nominated by no other person than the MD himself. I have a letter I can pull out and show you. I wrote to him in September 2025 requesting for those reps. He never responded until I wrote again a follow-up in October.
Do you have personal issues?
I don't know him. I can't have personal issues with somebody I don't know.
The MD, not the union.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know him. I only got to know him because of the virtue of my job. I don't
have any problem with him?
I don't have any problem. I call him. I can say we talk. But of course, this is work.
But he's your employee, technically.
Let's say he's my employee technically. But I mean, we are all working for the government. Okay. We are all trying to make sure that the objectives of the government...
Do you all report to the same person, or he reports to you and you report to somebody?
So we report to the same person. Let me just say that. We all report to the same person. But regardless of the chain of command, there is a tax that needs to be done. there is a job that needs to be done. What we have to assess is whether what needs to be done or what has to be done is going to be beneficial for Ghanaians. That is where the conversation should start from.
Okay.
And once we conclude that it's going to be beneficial to for the country and Ghanaians, I think we should all rally behind it and do it.
Okay.
Not people picketing here and there, raising issues. But in any case, if I have not consulted you and have written and said that this is just the first phase, and when we get to the next phase, there will be broader consultation. Because you see, all these things we are doing, SIGA is even the body set up by law to advise. So when we get to that stage, we will even write to SIGA for their opinion. So this is just the first step in the scheme of things.
Okay.
So why the rush?
When do we expect to see a government decision on this or a cabinet decision on this?
That is, like I said, that is entirely a decision that His Excellency has
cabinet and the secretary to the cabinet. Let's move on quickly before we leave on another thing that they say you are also selling VALCO lands.
That is a complete falsehood. And anybody who wants to be truthful, in fact, the MOU talking about the strategic partnership between government, GIADEC, GIADEC, TDC, and ARISE, is out there for everybody to read. TDC, from documentation, owned a certain land that previously was held by VALCO by way of a lease. The lease expired. TDC wrote to surrender it and requested for renewal. TDC said, we can't give you the entire tract of land. What we'll do is we'll give you a portion. The other portion has been reserved for strategic national projects. So take what you have. We're holding this. In conversation with TDC, they agreed to cede a portion of that land that they retained for this national strategic project in exchange for equity in the project. Don't forget, TDC is also government owned. So TDC holding, GIADEC holding, there's still government there getting some revenue. So that this private sector can bring its money, develop an industrial park, and then have industries operating, further creating additional jobs, creating more revenue for the country. And so I don't know who.
What's this industrial park supposed to be?
The industrial park is supposed to house various industries. So set it up, have the outlay, have the plan, install with all the necessary utilities and all of that, and drive the industries there. So we are looking at a portion that will be reserved purely for downstream aluminium related activities. The other portion, because of revenue generation, will be reserved to other factories, companies to come and, operate there and create additional jobs, create more revenue for the state. So if anybody says that certain Reindorf Twumasi Ankrah have sold VALCO land, I don't even have their land documents. All those documents are with TDC.
So this industrial park thing, is it something coming from GIADEC or is from government?
It's a government directive.
So the government said that this is what it was. So why is your name mentioned in there? Because
government, after a meeting with His Excellency, later a letter was communicated to my minister that because GIADEC has the mandate to develop industrial parks, you should let GIADEC lead this initiative and then make sure that what the president wants to see realized within his term is done. And that is how come my name came into it. We were not even a part of it. That is how I got involved. So people are just fighting me for no reason.
So you are going to be the implementer of this industrial park?
Exactly, that's what we are doing.
So has the land been given to you?
So the land has been given. So we are still going through the motions. We are talking, the lawyers, of course, such transactions involve lots of lawyers. So the lawyers for the other side are lawyers. Later we'll go to the Attorney General, seek final advice on the documentations. Once it's executed, part of the conditions, land will be allocated, and then the project starts. Does
VALCO have to be around the table for this discussion, or because the land doesn't belong to VALCO, they don't have any say?
No, but if the land doesn't belong to you, so what are you coming to have the discussion?
But it's their land.
It's not their land. Let's get that clear.
The CEO has said something to that effect.
It's not about what you say, it's about what the documents say. It's about what the documents say. If it's about speculation, we cannot speculate. Omar, I can just walk down the street, go to, Silver Star Towers and claim that all the cars there are mine. But at the end of the day, I have to prove that indeed they are mine. So the question is, come and prove that it is yours. Because when you prove that it is yours, it doesn't change anything. What it changes is that because TDC came in there as the owner of the land, we'll change the ownership. In any case, we own you. So even if the ownership, even if you come and prove it, it adds to our access to go and say that TDC give all the 30% to GIADEC.
So if a worker of VALCO is watching you now in 30 seconds, what assurance are you giving to them? And maybe the Ghanaian who is interested in VALCO. In
fact, the workers who have been ready to know what is really happening, we have tried as much as possible to put out the information. We have assured them of no job losses because we cannot seek to create jobs and then occasion job losses. That is not part of the mandate. So they should be rest assured. There are not going to be any job losses. But let me add a caveat that if you say you won't work, nobody can force you to work. You're a lawyer, and then
no, not yet. Don't.
Okay, so you're a law student. You're a law student, and you know that employment is not a servitude. So if you don't want to work, nobody can force you to work. But once you're ready to work, well, you have all the protections to work, and that is what GIADEC is there to ensure that happens. And that I assure them that their jobs are secured, and I want them to be comfortable, have the peace of mind to discharge their duties and rally behind the project, and not rely on any misinformation, but always probe further to understand what is happening.
Reindorf Twumasi Ankrah, CEO, GIADEC. Thank you for joining us on Face to Face. Thank you so much. So that's by way of our conversation today on Face to Face on Channel One Television. We'll be back with more next week. I am Umaru Sandamado. Thank you for watching us.